What's going on, everyone? Welcome to this YouTube Live. So, what's the topic of this video? What's the topic of this video? Well, obviously, it has to do on how is that many people that end up getting a bachelor's degree, or how is that a lot of people end up doing some type of program related to cybersecurity, cannot get a job on that field, cybersecurity. Why? Now, I wanted to talk about this topic because there were three people, the last a week and a half, there were three people that reached out to, and two of them, okay, cannot get a job, even though both end up going through a bachelor's degree related to cybersecurity, okay? The other guy, and listen to this, okay, end up paying about $12,000 just to go on this 9-month training, okay? And he ended up getting an entry-level job. He's been applying to a cybersecurity role, but again, it's not happening. So he ended up getting an entry-level job. After going 9 months, okay, 9 months, and going through some training, getting a few very entry-level IT certifications, and paying over $12,000. End up getting a very entry-level job. Now, remember, I have other two people, right, that reach out and be like, hey, I don't know what's going on. I've been trying to get a job for the last few months, and it's not happening. I get some offers related to some contracts related to entry-level jobs. That was a conversation that I had with one guy. But it's not what I want. I didn't end up going to college and getting a cybersecurity degree for me just to get something that pay low in a contract. So I'm like, I'm gonna wait, and I've been doing that since May. So you have this guy 3 months trying to get a job again in cybersecurity. So why it's not happening? And that's a conversation that I'm gonna have for those of you listening. Okay. And that's based on what society, the IT community, been telling a lot of people on how to go through it. Okay. And also too, and how the many programs out there, right, get you in related to cybersecurity, because yes, that's obviously like a huge topic. It's a huge topic, right? That's something that's trending. So obviously that's many companies out there that are taking advantage of, like, hey, you can become a cybersecurity engineer. You can become a cybersecurity engineer. You just have to go on this training. But for those that work in IT, you know that you cannot get a job in cybersecurity being your first job in IT. You cannot do that. Again, you cannot do that. You cannot get a cybersecurity engineer position, right, being your first job in IT. Because who's going to hire you? Cybersecurity, you need to have that background in networking. But you see, you have all these training companies, right? All these programs telling you that you can become a cybersecurity engineer. You just have to go on my 6, 9 month or 1 year training, and I'm going to teach you so many things, so many technologies, and you're going to be ready and you're going to become a cybersecurity engineer. That's a lie. That's a lie. Why? Because once again, in order for someone to get a cybersecurity engineer position, you need to have that background in networking. You need to, right? So for those of you listening, thinking, I want to do cybersecurity, and you probably new in IT, or you probably going through the process, a smart way for you to do this is you need to think of it this way. I need to get a job in IT. And that job has to be a job that's going to pay me well, a job that's related to networking, and a job that it's not an entry-level job. That's exactly what you need to think of and how you need to approach and go through your IT career. That's exactly what you need to have in mind. This is not for you to go out there, okay, and go through some type of a program, some type of a degree, and probably end up getting some entry-level certifications, right? for you to maybe get a cybersecurity engineer position, because it's not going to happen. Again, those jobs require for someone to have that background, a really good background related to networking. This is why I tell everyone, look, I don't care if you want to become a cloud engineer, cybersecurity engineer, DevOps engineer, network engineer, system engineer. It doesn't matter. You have to go the same process, and that is on getting your first job in IT. And that job has to be a job that's not an entry-level job, a job that's paying you well, and a job that is related to networking. That's exactly what you need to do. Once you get to that job, and that job can be something like network admin, system admin, IT support, probably some NAC position, probably network analyst, something along those lines. Again, not anything to do with help desk, not anything to do with field services, not anything to do with probably, service desk, a computer tech, not even desktop support, because right, like really think about it, right? You go to training and they teach you all about these hacking tools, right? They teach about Linux, they teach about security, they teach you all these things, right? But once again, no one is going to hire you as a cybersecurity engineer because you don't have the background in networking. Background means you having job hands-on, in a network infrastructure. But you go and learn all these things, so you end up getting an entry-level job where basically you really not needed anything that you end up learning the previous months, and probably you end up going and doing that for probably a year, maybe two, maybe three, depending on the degree that you got, or the program that you end up going through. And again, that's exactly what's happening. I wanted to do this video because of that. Again, for the last probably 2 weeks, no more than 2 weeks, okay? People reach out to me. Sometimes I reach out back to them because obviously I want to know what's going on. I want to know what's going on in your life. What's holding you back and you getting a high-paying job in IT. Because once again, you have probably beliefs, stories that are holding you back, and you doing the right things is going to allow you for you to get a high-paying job in IT, or for you to get there fast, right? So again, I have these three guys. I'm like, how is that? That two of them, a bachelor's degree. Like, really think about it. You have two people with a bachelor's degree. With one of them, I end up having a conversation, over the phone. The other one, it was just through text. I'm going to show you probably the messages. But on that conversation, that guy was like, Jorge, I end up getting my bachelor's degree in May. And since then, I've been trying to get a job. And yes, I've been getting some, offers, contract positions, but nothing to do with cybersecurity. All of them entry-level jobs. And obviously, I'm not going to settle for that because it took me a long time and it really cost me, getting this bachelor's degree. And I'm like, you see, obviously, probably you went through your IT career thinking that having a bachelor's degree related to cybersecurity, that was the answer for you to get a job related in cybersecurity. But that's not how it works, right? Now, again, 3 months, not job. And the guy seems really smart. I'm like, can you tell me more about what you end up learning? I'm like, shit, you end up learning really good things, man. But, again, you need to take a look at what the market needs and wants. You need to reverse engineer the entire process. That way you know more about what you need to do in order for you to be able to get, in this case, a cybersecurity engineer position. And it's not, okay? It's not by you trying to get a degree or by you trying to get to any type of program. They basically trying to sell you on that. The other guy too, Jorge, like, look, man, I end up going through this 6-7 month training. I end up paying $12,000. And I end up getting, because I had to, an entry-level job. And I'm like, okay, so you end up going through this program, okay? And they basically told you on that program that you end up paying $12,000. They told you, right? And by the way, he didn't have that $12,000, okay? So I'm like, bro, I mean, how you end up paying for that? I'm like, student, man, student loans, bro. Like, everything was borrowed, but obviously I own the money, So I'm like, okay, so what did they tell you? Well, obviously that program was cybersecurity. How to become a cybersecurity engineer in 6 months. It took me 7 months. I ended up going through their labs and everything else. They just advised me to do a few things. I ended up doing that, but I was not getting those offers related to cybersecurity jobs. And eventually they told me, they look, you can get there. We train you for you to get there. But yeah, probably you're going to have to start with an entry-level job. Like that boils my mind. When someone comes to me and say, Jorge, can you teach me, how to become a cybersecurity engineer? I'm like, question number one, do you even know what a cybersecurity engineer does? Do you even know? Can you explain that to me? And let me tell you this: most people don't know, but they go based on the hype. They go based on what everyone is talking right now, and it sounds cool, right? Cybersecurity engineer, man, that sounds really cool, man. I'm gonna go into that, right? And they have no idea because they think of the movies, right? They think about this guy, the hackers, and all these things they do. And let me tell you, a lot of it nothing to do with that. A lot of it nothing to do with that. But again, right, I asked, do you have any idea? Now, my question number two, right? Like, you think that because you're going to end up getting a degree or because you're going to end up going through some program where they're going to charge you like $7, $10, $12, $20,000, and they probably teach you many things that can be good, but you think because you're going to go through that, you're going to get a cybersecurity engineer position? You think someone is going to hire you? Yeah, no. I'm like, no. Once again, for those of you listening, you need to have that background in networking. You need to have that background in networking. And that's, once again, that smart way on how to go through your IT career. For those of you that want to focus on cybersecurity, your job is not to focus. Let me go and get that cybersecurity job right now. Let me see what can get me there. I'm going to go through some college. I'm going to go through some program. And once I go through that, I'm going to get that cybersecurity position. No, you don't. So you're focused on the wrong thing. And then you end up putting the time, the effort, and starting going through information that, yeah, can probably be good, but that you do not need at that point of time at all. So what does that mean? What does that mean? That what you need to think of, and this is for those of you that are new in IT, and by the way, I'm going through your comments, guys, okay? And I'm going to go back on some of your comments and questions. But what you need to do, this is exactly what you need to do, okay? You need to think of, okay, how can I get a job that's going to pay me well? A job that's going to pay me about $60,000 to $75,000. $60,000 to $75,000. And making sure that that job, my first job in IT, it's not going to be an entry-level job. That's exactly what you need to go after. A good job in IT that's going to pay you well, and a job that's not going to be an entry-level job. And on top of that, making sure that that job is something that's going to allow you for you to do the hands-on, allow you for you to work on the network infrastructure, on some issues, problems, some projects. That way you can learn some of those technologies. It's going to open a lot more your mind because now you're doing the hands-on. And at that point, you can, okay, now let's move on to cybersecurity engineer. Now we can do that. So let's go. But you see, you don't have to think of it like, oh, I'm going to get my first job in cybersecurity because I end up going through this college degree or because I end up going through this, program. They basically charge me like $7,000, $10,000, $12,000. Don't do that. Now I'm going to go back on this conversation because obviously I want to really help you for you to do the right things. Because if you're going to put that effort in that time, you better put it where you need to focus that on. If not, what's the point? Then you're gonna end up like one of these three people, right? They end up paying a lot of money. They end up putting that effort, the time, based on what society, the IT community told them to do. And now you have three of them. Well, one of them with a job, but not based on what he thought he will get. Cybersecurity. No, he ended up getting an entry-level job. The other two, one of them totally disappointed because now he's like, bro, I end up putting a lot of time, a lot of money cost me, a lot of sacrifices. And the only jobs that I get offers on that I can probably get that job are contracts not related to cybersecurity. It's just entry-level jobs. And I'm not willing to settle for that. This is why I've been trying to get a job since May. And I'm like, whoa, like, have you applied? Man, I've been applying every day. I've been talking to people every day. And I'm like, I'm going to get a job that's related to cybersecurity. I end up applying a few ones. I'm like, bro, Have you asked any of them why they haven't called you back? Have you asked any of them? That can be the manager, probably some of the engineers that you end up talking to, and why they decided not to go with you. I'm like, no, do that, and you're gonna find out that they're gonna basically go back. Well, yeah, you end up getting something they can says, and you end up learning a few things, but you don't have the background related and real life and what's and how a network infrastructure works. And if you don't have that experience, let's say on the resume, difficult for someone to give you a cyber security position. That's exactly what many people have it wrong. So now let me take 2 minutes and I'm going to go through some of your questions. Okay, so network experience, it's important before jumping into cybersecurity. Yes. Yes, that's totally true. Yeah, and I totally agree with that. And I can probably talk about in another video related and those opportunities related to IT. Like inside a coaching program, I have a few people that are earning over 300K, guys. Yes, that's because, some of them have 2 jobs working from home. Imagine, right? Having 2 jobs working from home. And I believe they are very effective. 5 minutes. They are very effective on what they do, right? That's why they have 2 jobs working from home. But let me tell you something too, okay? There are so many other opportunities out there, so many opportunities out there, a ton of them. This is why you have to learn the skills that's going to allow you for you to get there. If not, what's the point? And you probably think, oh, yeah, I need to learn about all these technologies. No, you don't. There are other things that you have to do, that you have to learn, that will get you there, right? Like I had that conversation with the same guy, right? They end up going through the college degree, the bachelor's degree related to cybersecurity. I'm like, now that I have you on the phone, man, will you mind if I ask you a few questions? I'm like, no, man, go ahead. I'm like, okay, and I'm gonna go very easy on you, okay? I'm gonna go very easy on you, okay? If I give you a switch, a layer 2 switch, what are those 3 things that you will do in order, or give me some advice or guidance, because I don't know anything about IT, and let's say that I'm an owner, okay? Let's say that I'm an owner of this company, and I come up to you and I ask you, what are those 3 things that you can tell me related and how I need to securely configure, or things that I can do, apply features on this layer 2 switch that I have from Cisco? What would you say? And that guy had no idea. Yeah, he came up with some technical things. I'm like, I'm not getting it, bro. I'm not, because you cannot sell yourself to me. You cannot store yourself to me in a way that I can think of you, that you can get the job done, that you know what you're talking about. Basically, what you just giving me is something that I can just get from a book, that I can just get my phone and I can go on Google and find out that information that you just give me. You're not making this conversation interesting. It's like basically asking, what's the name of the phone? Siri. Hey, Siri, can you tell me? And then Siri answers, right? Very technically. There's the same thing. I'm like, you see, this is the other thing that probably you're not getting the job, because you sound like everyone else. So it doesn't matter that you have a bachelor's degree. You know how many? Not hundreds, thousands of people. Thousands of people have a bachelor's related in IT, computer, cloud computing, network, administration, security, cyber security, and many of them either don't have a job or they have an entry-level job, and that's not good. And there are not hundreds, thousands out there. You see, if I'm giving you if I take 30 minutes of my time to just do like a live with you, this because I really want you to think about what I'm telling you, because that one conversation, that one advice can really and completely change how you go through your IT career. The things that you're going to end up doing the next few weeks, the next few months, for you to finally get to a high-paying job sooner than later, right? So now let me go through some of the questions. So Johnny Anderson, hola Jorge, what's going on? What's going on, man? I have the A+. I'm studying for the CCNA, but I want to go straight to networking. I don't want to be on the phone doing help desk. Now, Robert, and this is, I will tell you what I tell my students, okay? There are a few students that come to my coaching program. They already have the TIA certifications. I'm like, bro. And once we go to and apply for jobs, I'm like, Jorge, okay, this is how I'm gonna the certifications that I'm gonna put on my resume. And I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. You're not gonna put that you have your TIA A plus. You will not put that you have your TIA Network plus. You will not do that, man. Well, I end up getting them, man. It took me like, I don't care. People don't care based on what you think you need to do or what you need to put on your resume. People don't care. The market cares based on what the market needs and wants. And people don't care for someone that has a TIA A plus. And when a recruiter or someone else look at that, right, that you probably end up having too, and you don't have that really background experience, they're gonna think of you like, well, this guy is new. Next. Oh, this guy is new. So yeah, let's give him some entry-level job. He's not ready for something like admin level. He just end up getting that TIA certifications. So going back to you, Robert, you end up getting your TIA A plus. Okay, good for you, but don't ever mention it. Because basically what you're saying, hire me as an entry-level job. Or don't hire me because I'm new in IT. So don't do that. Honest to tell you the truth. I have an 18-year-old right out of high school, okay? I have an 18-year-old, okay? And I really hope you listen. End up signing up on the coaching program. About 3 weeks ago, he ended up getting his Cisco CCNA. Now you're probably thinking, anybody can do that, Jorge. I know other people, they're really young and they're able to get their Cisco CCNA. I'm like, yeah, I agree with you. But I can come up to that people they end up getting the Cisco CCNA, and I can ask some basic questions. Can you tell me more about a MAC address or the difference between a MAC address compared to an IP address? Can you tell me more about the OSMATO? Can you tell me more about why do we need VLANs in the network infrastructure? Can you tell me the difference about OSPF, EIGRP? Can you tell me what's this, and that? And probably they may have an answer, but they're going to give me a what? A technical definition. Oh, yes, the difference between an IP address and a MAC address, it's IP addresses work on the layer 3 of the OSMATO, the network layer, IP addresses are logical addresses and blah, 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 blah. And MAC addresses, 48-bit hexadecimal number, blah, 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 blah. Like, all this BS. I'm sorry, but that's like the way that everyone answers those questions, and that's not true. I will tell you how it is, right? Now, you ask this 18-year-old those same questions, you're going to be amazed. He knows how to answer those questions. And he, right now in the process, he's going through a process. I'm getting a job in IT. And I'm like, look, we're going to go and get this job that's going to pay you between $25 up to $30 an hour. Even though you're 18 years old, even though you're totally in IT, even though you just barely got out of high school. And we're going to make sure that that's not a help desk position, not an entry-level fucking job. And that's exactly what we're working on right now when I'm working out with this student inside our coaching program. And I have to be honest with you. I cannot wait. I really cannot wait. I'm going on some conversations with him and some of these videos that I'm planning on doing with other students. So you can see what most people go through in their IT career. They cannot think of it like, oh, I cannot do this, or I cannot do that because of this, because of that. No, it's because you listen to the wrong people. You listen to the BS out there in the IT community. All this bullshit. Some people, yeah, they have good information. I'm not saying everyone. Some of them do. Again, this is what you need to look for, those that really have something to offer that can help you based on where you are right now and what you're trying to accomplish. Okay? Now, let's go another question. So I'm about to lose my Cisco Cyber Ops Associate next year. By the way, it was a Cisco scholarship. Okay, so what's the question? Like right there, what's the question? I don't know what question. I mean, do you work in IT right now? You're trying to find a job? Like, what's going on? Now, let me go to another one. So going through your 7-week step-by-step video. Thank you for making these videos. You're very welcome. Let's go here. How much is the masterclass? I don't know if you're asking for the masterclass. So Mr. Nick, listen to Jorge, got the masterclass blueprint and now getting 6 figures. Do all the work and focus on higher opportunity best. You see? Listen to Nick. You know, he ended up investing some of the money he has on me and obviously end up delivering some value. They help him to now have a great paying job in IT. I'm studying for the CCNA Australian retaining information. It's challenging, but that's the point. No, any bro. Let me get back to you right there, man. We got no excuse. If one man can do all can, everything takes time. No, bro. No. You're doing the wrong thing. You are fucking doing the wrong thing. I'm sorry to tell you. If I have you here with me, now I have another guy, Jason. You know, I have the network plus, but CCNA is hard. No, it's hard for you, man. It's hard for you. And it's not because you're dumb, because you're not. It's because the way they condition and how to go through information, how to learn information. That's a mistake that many people make in IT, unfortunately. You know, when someone goes to my coaching program, right? Sometimes people ask, okay, Jorge, let's get to the Cisco videos. Let's get to the CCNA videos. Let's go to those technical videos. I'm like, bro, you are here to go through my process, not to go through your process, because obviously you're here because you cannot get to that place or that, not place, that, I don't want to say opportunity, for you accomplish, you know, for you to accomplish that one thing. You are here because you want to learn. So you're not here to tell me what to do. So no, I'm not going to give you access to any technical content yet because you're not ready. What do you mean? No, you're not ready because you have no idea on how to learn, how to process information, because there's a ton of people out there, a ton of them. Okay. They know a lot. But let me tell you something. If you cannot sell it, 5 more minutes. If you cannot sell it, and if you can storytell it, that means that you don't know shit. I said it. I'm sorry, but I said it. Oh, Jorge, I know the book inside out about that Network Plus. Okay, let me ask you a few questions. And if you cannot sell that to me, and if you cannot make a conversation related to what you're telling me, and if you cannot storytell that to me, you don't know shit. I'm sorry, but you don't know shit. That's how it is. Okay. Bro, for Joe, bro, I'm gonna tell you this because I have to go. I have, you know, a few things going on. So just I'm gonna have to go, guys. I probably do another live. I usually go an hour, but I have to do a few things. Now, this is what I'm gonna tell you, okay? For Ayo, bro, like the first thing that you need to do before you want your Cisco CCNA, you need to learn how to go through information, because if not, you're gonna end up learning information like most people do. You're gonna end up learning based on someone giving you a technical lecture, based on someone giving you some technical definition. And if that's how you're going to process information, you're not going to be that successful in IT. Sorry, but that's the truth. Sorry, but that's that true. Okay? And this is for all of you. If you never end up learning that, I'm going to ask you, take the time to learn that, because this is one thing that I teach all the students before they go through anything technical. You know, I'm going to tell you the last thing. Sometimes people come up to me. 3 more minutes and that's it. Okay, so I will tell you this, okay? That when people come up to me because they have, you know, Jorge, like, I want you to help me, you know, and get this job, but I don't want to go through your coaching program. I really don't, because I already got my CCNA. I already got a few other IT certifications. I already have experience in IT, but I only need you for you to help me to get to my next job, because that's where I have some issues. I cannot get to my next job. And then when I reach out to them, I'm like, bro, let me tell you something, okay? Let me tell you something. If you don't go through my process, my way, I cannot help you, because the way that you end up getting the job has to do a lot on how you end up learning everything that you learned so far. And I know, because I can ask you 1-2 questions, and I will know if you end up learning what you know so far the way that everyone else does. And that's the reason why you're stuck. That's the reason why you can probably not get to that job, because you have no idea on how to sell and how to storytell and how to market that to other people, for people to think of you that you can get the job done. Not that you know, because that's exactly how most people go through it. They go through the job interview process, they answer the questions, they feel good about it, and everyone else thinks of him, of that one person, of, oh, that guy or that girl, yeah, knows. He knows, she knows. but that will not get you the job. They need to think of you like, wow, that person can get that job done. I can already see that person working with us on our issues, our projects, on our team. But you don't know how to do that. That's that reason why you're not getting that job. Okay? ¿Eso fue? Which one? What's that? Okay, so guys, I really have to go. My kids, in here right now. So, if anyone decides to do that coaching program with me, now I have this guy that says scam. Oh man, I would love to fucking have you on the on a face to face for that, Jay Bolser. I don't know why people put like cars or all these things. I mean, they're not that confident to show their face. Like they have to freaking, hide behind a fucking icon, And if I'm a scam, bro, I'm glad that you joined. Like obviously, if I'm a scam, that's because you don't believe in what I said. And I will tell you this. I love it when people hate it or hate me, but they still listen to me. That's what I love the most. When people, because obviously I have a lot of people that hate me because they don't like what I tell the truth. Like the other day I had this argument. I'm like, bro, when I like an argument, it was more like a conversation. I'm like, bro, how you telling someone to go through that same process that you end up going through when you know better than that there are better ways on how to do it? Like, really? Like me going back when I was in my 30s, early 30s, back then, late 20s, I will tell my friends, the way that you get to a job in IT is you need to get your CompTIA A+, and then you need to get your CompTIA Network Plus. Those are the first two certifications that you need to get. And then I'm going to help you. We're going to do this, and then you're going to get an entry-level job in IT. And I will have a few friends to do that. So how is that? I do the same because now I know better, because now I know there are better ways. You see, sometimes you have to look at what you end up doing and see, is there a better way to do it? Or the way that I end up doing it is the best, right? So again, it's always, you have to open your mind because there are more people that know more than you do. Like I have some of my students too. Sometimes they teach them a few things because they get to a level that I'm like, holy shit, Like I'm glad that I was helping you, guiding you to a point, but now, man, you kind of took over. Now, teach me some of those few things that you end up learning on your own now that you're at that level. I will never be that guy that I'm like, oh, it's just me. My shit works, you don't. Like, if you're at that same level as me, you're going doing more things in life, I'm always open. But see, many people don't. And that's the reason why they get so fucking stuck. Okay? So, that's it. Let's see. Hold up. That again. Where's this guy? Is there fucking guy left? Again, I cannot wait, for these people. But anyways, guys, I really have to go. I have, on top of going through taking care of my family right now, I have a few calls with some of my students. Okay, that details is right there. Okay. Okay, guys, I have to go. And by the way, membership site finally is gonna open in September 1st. I didn't want to say this, but next week you're gonna see a lot of the things out there because finally it's gonna be open. I'm very excited for that. But once again, guys, let's go. Let's get this done. And I really hope you put your time and effort with me, and either on YouTube for those of you that want to join the coaching, because I'm here to stay and I'm here for me to help you. Because it feels good when some of the students reach out to me like, hey, Jorge, I end up getting my first job. Hey, Jorge, I end up getting a better job. Hey, Jorge, I'm already on the 140. That makes me like, whoa, it's worth it what I'm doing because I know that I'm really helping people to achieve big things. And I really obviously want to help you to do the same. Okay? So I have to go. But, for all of you, Brandon, that's one of my best successful students inside my coaching program. Brandon got to me when he was a help desk, earning 60K. And for disclosure, I cannot say how much he earns because that will fucking blow your mind. And you're going to probably say that I'm fucking lying. But he was earning 60K and he double, triple that already in less than 2 fucking years. Okay. But I have to go. Again, guys, thank you for joining this call. But good night. Talk to you soon.